I guess every artist, when we produce things, when we produce work, whether it's writing or paintings or music, or we work with our bodies, we want to share it. We don't necessarily, there's some writers, some artists who will say, nah, I don't care who reads it, who listens to me, I don't care. But majority of artists want their voices heard. We want people to know who we are because we are the soul of society.
What I've realized in the art world is that somehow it's slightly more permissible to speak a little bit louder and to be a little bit different. And therein lies a freedom which is usually not found anywhere else.
We try to give voice to people in the non-dominant groups so that they have a voice and they know how to work within the dominant culture and still express themselves and assert themselves to get to where they want to be.
Three guidelines for setting up a show. One is always involve youth, whether as performers, exhibitors, or curators. Secondly, have at least 2 to 3 disciplines of art. And then the third thing is the mission of the organization, which is to cross borders, again, to stay international, sustain dialogue, which means talk about issues that need talking about, and to incite change through art.
I think that arts are really powerful, and I think it's a way to see something and to experience something rather than be told to believe something.
I think art is about trying to make sense of it all. Ultimately, it's the human most profound need that we have is, making sense, and not making sense of it on our own, because I think we can only go so far, but rather making sense in a collective, communal kind of experience.
You can't talk about creating a new society or even critique the old society or the current society without thinking of creative ways to do that.
If you have any programming idea, if you want to do an event, you can contact Voices Breaking Boundaries and we will provide a space for you.
So sure as there is a God of justice, we shall not go unpunished.
This 4th of July is yours, not mine.
When will your voices be heard?
I found my voice as a writer through teaching writing. That was a really, really important thing to me, to give voice to kids. And as I was giving voice to kids, I found my own voice.
That makes you straight and tremble at the thought of me getting any.
Young voices are necessary. We know that because those voices are the ones that can really bring about societal changes.
Most after-school programs lose their kids around 12 or 13 when kids start to have more freedom and their hormones kick in and lots of things happen.
I think what the BB does when it goes into schools, when it works with children, is it allows them a safe space to explore that. Where do they fit in? How do they fit in? How do they want to fit in?
I've seen one person make a huge difference in the lives of a lot of kids. And I think Seba is a great example of that with her writing workshops with Voices Breaking Boundaries. And then the people that she brings in to do workshops and everything, they're great examples of people who can get those kids to respond. And then we see those kids years later going off to college and getting involved in internships and things like that. That wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for this little organization.
Talk about it, then we can come back to it. But I just want you all to know that this discussion is happening.
No, but it can't happen like that. I mean,
BB is going global. BB is global. We have people in Norway, in Karachi, in Phoenix. We have people in different cities around the world who want to do BB events.
I've sort of come to the conclusion that this board is going to always be more artists, writers, activists than it is deep pockets.
Corporations often have specific goals in mind in terms of we want to promote our product by attaching it to your show and saying that we support this, therefore we are cool also. And so we just outright decided we're not going to accept corporate money because the corporate money does come with strings attached. And it may or may not work with the values of all the artists that are involved with the work that we do.
It's a dangerous, risky business, the idea of expressing yourself and finding voice and, willing to be different if you have to be different.
It's an organization that isn't bounded by firm parameters, so it doesn't just work in visual arts, it doesn't just work in music, it doesn't just work in literature. It uses all of these things and puts them into concert, and puts them in concert, or puts them in dialogue.
My art has been improved in the sense that even the mundane or even the everyday has become something that I want to put on paper and share with people, and feel like that is what makes my voice what it is. I never thought that I had a voice the way that I feel like I have a voice now.
It's an organization that is pushing for justice through words, through your own gifts, your own talents, breaking boundaries, overcoming obstacles through the tools that you've been given to do so.
I don't think of it as a political activism in the regular sense. It's really just people worrying about people in the artistic sense.
I guess I would describe it as grassroots art activism, and art very largely defined.